Guys, so on this one today we have a back capacitor. It's one of the easiest calls you can get as a service technician. So stay tuned and I'll walk you guys through how we did the troubleshooting and how we did the repair. Alright, see you soon. Alright, so no cooling. Let's try to figure out what's going on with this one. Turn on the thermostat. Looks like we got the fan on. Okay, doesn't seem like we got compressor. Let's go inside and check the filter. Oh, I think I just heard the compressor tried to come on. That's good. This might be a simple capacitor today. Usually when you hear the humming like that and the fan running, it just sounds like compressor's trying to run, but it's not running. Okay, this is a nice to crawl in crawl space. Ooh. Let's see. Hell, they got us a heel. Well, this is nice. Not every day you have a pack of filters. Just waiting on you. All right, let's see. Just do a quick check. Okay, filter's clean. This is what we want to see. Alright, so it looks clean in there. Let's close this back up. Alright, let's see what type of evap we got. So we have a 410A system. Take a quick picture of this real quick. I always try to get a picture of the nameplate before I go outside in case I need to reference it. You know, sometimes you want to know if you're working with a TXV or a piston, because knowing the metering device will tell you some things. All right, let's take a look at this pump while we're here. Okay. I don't see it plugged in. Huh. So actually, I do. Plugged in right here. Looks like it's plugged in up here. Well, it's pretty dry on the surface right here. So chances are this pump is working, because otherwise it'll be really wet. But then again, the AC is not working, so maybe not. All right, we'll come back to this. All right, so we know the filter is good. And we know the blower is running on the inside, so sounds like our problem will most likely be on the outside. Oh, there we go. I can hear the compressor trying to start again. So let's go ahead and open her up and see what's going on. Okay. So sometimes when you have a problem opening this door, you can unlatch these top parts, these top screws, and it'll make it a little easier. I never take out the screw all the way, simply because these things are easy to lose. All right. So it looks pretty clean in there. Looks like we got a 35.5. Let's do a quick check. Let's see if the compressor's on. We'll do that by doing a quick amp draw. First we gotta find a compressor common. Okay, there it is. So this is likely my fan. Yep, so fan is on. So that makes this one compressor common. Okay. You guys can see 0 amps. This means my compressor's not on. So there we go. So guys, I already know what's going on, but for the purpose of the video, just for anyone watching to get an idea of what's going on, I'm gonna just do some quick diagnostics so you guys can see. Okay, so I got 0 voltage passing through here. I got voltage going to my fan, but no voltage going to my compressor. So that tells me I got voltage going in on my common. So from the contactor, I got voltage going into the capacitor, but none exiting to the compressor. So that almost conclusively means my capacitor is bad. It looks like I have a 35.5 capacitor. Yep. So let's go grab one from the truck. All right, so we want a 35.5. Look at that right here. 35.5. All right, let's head on back. All right, we got us a capacitor. So we're gonna go ahead and change this one out. Let's put disconnect. Always want to turn off power when you're changing a capacitor. Okay, and then let's go ahead and discharge. Okay, what's that noise? Huh, you guys hear that? Is that my contactor? That That is my contactor. I don't like the sound of that contactor. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend a replacement. Sounds like something's stuck in it. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'm actually going to loosen up some of these wires. So always take a picture before you start work, or have some type of way to remember, what it is, how you need to put it back. So one of the things I like about the Carrier brand is everything's color coded. So all the yellows, as you can see, the yellow wires are going on the common, the blues are going on the Herm, and the brown for the fan. So if anything, you could always look at the old one and determine where you need to put things back. But I've been doing this long enough that I know where everything needs to go. Also recommend, just so the capacitor doesn't short out on this contactor, meaning if this touches that metal part right there on the sides, it's going to short out and blow a fuse inside. So what I always like to do is, you see the side here that has the insulation on it, I like to pull this out and keep it over to the side. And the reason I use this one is, see, I could touch anything because it has that insulation and it won't short anything out. Okay, that way it gives me room to change this out without worrying about this touching. It's just one of those tricks you learn from I've been doing this for a while. I know I certainly learned the hard way, because it definitely shorted out on me once, maybe even twice, because I didn't know. But like they always say, the field is your best trainer. So I learned pretty quickly. I think I just lost the screw. I didn't hear it, so it must have gone in the dirt somewhere. All right, we'll find it in a second. Oh, it's still on my screwdriver. All right. So let's go ahead and double check the diagnostic. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see my screen. So if we go ahead and do a check. So common, the fan side was good. 4.9, that checks out. Herm side not so great. So the shower is stinking. Yep, that's bad. Not reading anything. What I ought to be reading is, so here I got 34.5. There I got 4.98. All right, so let's go ahead and wire everything back. So I always like to wire before I put the screws on it, but I generally like to put my harness back in first. That way, see, I got nothing but space, so I can put in my wires, and then I'll let it hold the capacitor. Put the brown one in. Okay, you want to push it in real tight. Make sure you got good contact, because if you don't have enough contact, you're going to cause it to overheat. If you're wondering, why would it overheat? Well, it's basic Ohm's law. When it starts pulling a significant amount of amps, the moment you create an impedance, so all right, got first screw in. Let's get the second one in. All right, so we got it in. Again, let's make sure the wires are tight and snug. In there, the brown, tight and snug. Okay, now we can put this back, and it should put my contactor in. Yep. Okay. And just for me, I always like to just look around, make sure there's nothing unsafe, make sure our wires are snug, you know, nothing's touching the bare metal. Usually when it's dirtier, I'd clean things up, but this one looks pretty clean, but it doesn't hurt. Wipe things down a little bit. All right, moment of truth. Let's go ahead and turn her on. Ooh, I love the sound of that. That sounds like a sound of a compressor coming on. And we'll know in a second, because this line will start to condensate and get cold. Does it need to be cleaned? I think it's okay. Yep, we got compressor. Got the compressor coming on. So this right here is every technician's dream. An easy capacitor. This is probably one of the easiest service calls you can get as an HVAC technician. Never forget to put the screws back. I almost wanted to not put that screw. Make it easier for the next tech to be able to get in. Yeah. I think I'll do that. I'll keep the screw. Keep it in here in case they ever need it. Let's do some documentation real quick. Take a couple pictures. Let's see if I can wrap this line set up. Oh, this is no good. This is no good. All right, we're gonna try to wrap this up for him. We'll take a picture. I think I might throw it in if they decide to do the contactor. I think I'm gonna go grab my probes. We're gonna check the refrigerant. It seems okay, but while I'm here, it never hurts. But maybe not. Let me see. Let me read the temperature inside. If I like what I'm getting, temperature, I won't read the. I won't check the freon. Generally want to refrain from connecting up as much as we can, because every time we do, we release a little refrigerant into the atmosphere, which is not so great for the atmosphere, and more importantly, less refrigerant for the system. So I'll check my temperatures. Let's see what we come up with. You say you feel it now? Yeah, there you go. I mean, you guys are not too bad. You have some tree shade.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get.
It's just the car that gets hot, but inside it doesn't really get that hot. We'll see when it's 90 degrees, 95, 100.
You should. I mean, you should be good for the summer.
Yeah.
This is a common part that fails.
Okay.
You know, once it fails, it'll last you about another 5, unless something else happens.
Okay.
But I think we caught it early.
Okay.
So, like I said, give me 10 minutes. Let me call it in, and, and if I need you, I'll come and get you. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Like I said, people, that was an easy one. It's a good one for 3 o'clock on a Thursday. So I like the temperatures I was getting indoors, so I probably won't bother checking the refrigerant, because if the refrigerant was low, I wouldn't be getting the good enough temperatures I was getting. So coming out of the farthest vent from the system was 61 degrees, and I had about 78 degrees going into it, just based on the thermostat. So that's approximately 18, 17, and maybe 20 degrees delta T coming from the vents, talk less of, you know, at the system. So I'm pretty good with that. So I think we could call this one pretty good. I think we could say this one is good to go. All right, now I just got to throw away this back capacitor. Where's my trash can? Right here. All right, you guys, I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in on this one, and I will see you guys later.